Hello guys and welcome to today's STPL. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. I actually got home late from work today, so that was fun. One of the reasons why working in London can be a bit annoying sometimes, but we made it. We're back here. We're here for another couple of exciting series. We're going to start off with Red versus pSi, so let's actually have a quick look at how both of these teams have been doing. Okay, so Red and pSi both. Red is kind of middle of the table in Season 2. pSi Storm closer to the bottom, but they have been doing a little bit better this season compared to they did in Season 1. Red actually made it to the playoffs in Season 1, at least one of the round playoffs, which is part of the reason why Season 1 was so confusing, just because there was so many different things going on. But pretty cool regardless. I just got a random Reddit notification. I was like, huh? What's happened? Someone's added me to some weird group where apparently all the people with verified 4-letter usernames are in. So shout outs Kicks, 4-letter username no one picked, so that's kind of cool. It's weird that people care about that, but I mean, it kind of amazes me that I managed to get STPL on Twitch, because I know STPL isn't like a kind of normal name or anything like that, but I would have thought at the very least that it would have been taken, because it is a 4-letter word. But either way, let's have a look at today's matchups. Okay, we're not going to have set 1 because unfortunately Vesk did not show, so set 1 goes to Red. So starting with set 2, we're going to have a PvZ between Castle and Praise. We're then going to have a PvZ between LML and Grassed. And then we're going to have a PvZ between pSi versus Mitax. So if you like PvZ, this is the place you want to be today, because we will have at least 3 PvZs in a row. If we go to an ace match, we'll obviously have a chance at a 4th. But imagine if we had 5 PvZs in a row. The full Protoss team versus the full Zerg team. It does make me wonder if when we go to Season 3, if I should put in a rule that makes people send like one of each race like they used to do in Pro League. It's very rare that you would get this, and luckily enough, it's not a mirror matchup. But yeah, I mean, PvZ, a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun to watch as well. So let's go in to announce our first map here. It's going to be, of course, the wonderful BlitzX. Now, BlitzX, we haven't had too many PvZs here. Only one, which LML did win. LML isn't going to be playing on this map this week, but his teammate is in Castle, so maybe he's given him a few tips for this. To introduce his teammate is going to be interesting, because Castle has played on so many different teams throughout the STPL's history. He signed up with his own team in Season 1 for Round 3, and they dropped out before it even began. So, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Castle kind of moving around a lot of different teams all the time, waiting to see exactly what team suits him best. So hopefully he's going to be here in Red for a while. He's only got a 20% win rate overall, but that is pretty decent given how many good players there are. So let's have a look at his opponent here, fighting for Red. It's going to be, well, for pSi even, it's going to be Praise. Now, Praise also has a 20% win rate. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen 2 players with a 20% win rate at all. So, kind of crazy. But Praise keeps getting sent out against some incredibly good players from each of the teams. And he has actually beaten some good players. Looks like ZVT is definitely his thing rather than ZVP, because ZVP, he's 0 for 8, so this is going to be his chance of getting back on the bandwagon of ZVP to see if he can start pSi off quite strong, because obviously Red do start with a 1-0 lead. So let's have a look at game number 1. It's Praise versus Castle. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we have, in the yellow, fighting for red, it's Castle. And his opponent spawning over here in the top right-hand position, in the brown, fighting for pSi, it's Praise. And Dr. Bear, that's sad, but the good thing is STPL usually goes on for so long that you may actually be able to get home and finish the cast, so it's always fun. Now this is always that awkward moment where I'm just kind of getting into casting again from after a day's work. Now luckily enough, work the last couple of days, so I've been sent to a client to kind of not do normal support work, but to do kind of sort of setups of laptops and stuff, which is a lot more relaxing and it allows you to focus a lot more than normal support does. So I'm in a pretty good mood because of that. I also introduced some new Patreon tiers recently, which someone actually upped their sub to, so I made him one of the highlight videos, which I'll show off sort of in the middle and close to the end as well, but I'm quite happy with it. I spent about an hour doing it yesterday, and it's not much, but Des seemed to like it, so Castle doing a pretty good job here with his pro blocking those drones from being able to put down the hatchery. Now, funnily enough, it's one of those moments where it feels like the drones are actually the ones blocking the hatchery. Now, there we go, the hatchery comes down, so not going to block it for a crazy amount of time, but the spawning pool has been forced. Castle, meanwhile, is going for a 2-gate in his main, so he is going all in here, well at least I say all in, but he is going sort of one base. It's kind of weird how all in seems to have like a different definition in many different languages, because when you watch the Korean cast, if I remember rightly, the way they used to use all in from like watching subs and remembering what Supernova Maniac used to translate in like the stream chat we used to watch, they kind of use it as just grabbing your whole army and sending it. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I'm betting everything to just do a one-base attack. If it fails, I lose. But I guess that's kind of more what all-in actually means. But with one base in ZVP, in PvZ, I guess, in this case, it's not normal. And the reason why it's not normal is if the Zerg can kind of outgrow you a little bit later, if you don't do enough damage, you are kind of... You're not dead, but it does make it a lot harder. Now we should see the first 3 Zealots kind of meeting up together. The Zealot getting a nice hit on this drone. Going to make it, we'll soften it up a little bit, but does need to be careful because there is a good number of Lings already. And Praise is getting ready with a Sunken. Now obviously there is a lot of PvZ in our first series, but our second series is going to be between 2 of the sort of incredible teams from both Season 1 and Season 2. Not saying pSi and Red aren't, but it's not going to be a PvZ every game, so that's obviously better if you're a fan of Terran. We're going to have White Clan versus Rev, and there's going to be 2 Terrans, and there is actually going to be 2 PvZs as well, so I guess PvZ pretty popular in Week 7, but luckily enough we're getting them all out of the way today, so we can see some more varied matchups on Friday. Now the Zealots have actually unable to really do anything, so he's had to fall back. He's going to build a Nexus. This is of course going to be built like later than what you'd normally expect, but it looks like Praise is going for his kind of all in here. Now leaving a Zealot here is actually really clever. It forces the Lings around the longer path, and it looks like there was a lair here, but it was cancelled, so he's going nothing but Lings. Let's see how much damage this can do. Obviously there's going to be a lot of Zealots behind this, which makes this a little bit more risky here for Praise to do. But it looks like Praise is going to pull back. Now this is a weakened economy for both the Protoss and the Zerg player. The Zerg certainly though at a massive disadvantage now with only 10 drones at 5 minutes and a ton of Lings that have already died. This is not looking good for Praise, and pretty good for Castle right now. It's kind of funny that Castle chose to pull back, but that decision to pull back may have actually won him the game. Okay, looks like we're going to have the Lings engaging, getting a good surround on that first Zealot, but do need to trade a little bit better than this if they want to win the game. The Probes coming in to help as well, going to be doing a ton of damage to these Lings. And I mean, he's going to kill a Probe, he's going to kill a second Probe. Can he get a third? No, not for now, but he is going to try and run into the main. There's not anything back here defending, and with good micro, he can keep these alive. Third Probe does go down, fourth Probe going to go down. But that's all for now. Fifth Probe actually gets picked off at the end somehow. But this is going to be it for Praise's attack. So he's starting to drone up again. Obviously going to be behind here, but did do a little bit of damage, which has evened up the supply count just a little bit. Obviously, Ling's very supply efficient early game, and so is Zealots, of course, but Zealots do take up more supply overall, so... Okay, so Praise is going to move from going for Lings. Going to move into Hydralisks. Going to see if he can go for a bust here. Now, there isn't actually that many cannons. There's nothing here for Castle that could scout for this either. So if he hits at the right timing with the right number of Hydralisks, maybe he can make this bust work. But this is a crazy aggressive CVP hit style here from Praise. And it's very much a gamble, as Tastos has said once, because he's just kind of hoping that Castle is going to die. Now, it is interesting. It can work. You are obviously behind in economy, but if you can hit the right timing, maybe you can go for a big bust. Now, another couple of cannons going to be coming in here. Is he waiting for Hydra speed or something? No, he's waiting for Hydra range. Now, Hydra range not going to be too impactful against Zealots. Obviously, speed going to be a little bit more important, but it does help against the cannons. So, I think Praise is probably going to sit back here for a little bit. Hopefully, go for an expansion. Actually, going to 4 hatcheries on 2 bases. This is such a weird game, but looks like Praise going to push forward, see if he can break into Castle's base. Unable to do so. And get a pullback once again. And then we actually have a lair coming in here, so we've had a kind of weird Ling all in. He went for kind of a Hydra bust, which didn't really do too much. And now he's going into 4 hatch lair, so there's no second gas just yet. I don't think it's going to be muteless, but back at home, we've got Castle with a Corsair coming out now finally. He's got Citadel up already, Templar Archives coming on the way. And already up, well, it's still 2 gateways actually. I thought there was one at the front, but I forgot. And Abandon Air 72, I kind of agree. I do like PvZ, but I do like having like a mixture of matchups just because it makes things a little bit easier to cast. When you cast so many of the same matchup in a row, all the games start to blend together and it makes it really difficult to differentiate them. At least when you're casting a series and you're thinking back to like say for example you were looking at game number 1, it was a TVZ, game number 2 was a PVZ, then you had like a TBT and a PvP or something. At least when you're looking back you can be like, okay, I can separate those in my head. I know exactly what game was what and I know what to refer to, but that becomes a little bit difficult when it's all one matchup. I also announced this a little bit late because I forgot to post the post on TL after yesterday, so that's my bad, but hopefully it's up on TL now. Here we go, looks like we're going to have Praise pushing forward a little bit, not able to do any damage, just actually taking a huge amount of damage on this Hydra. Luckily enough he didn't die, but that's going to go down if he goes in first for that, so it does need to be careful. Now, is there a Spire on the way? Yes there is, so I don't know whether this is going to be for just Scourge, or if we are going to see something else. We finally have a 3rd base coming up. It's going to be with the 5th hatchery. And Praise actually drawn it up pretty well. It's kind of funny because Praise was the person I believe I saw play on Neo Outlier. Let me just double check his history, actually. No, so it wasn't him. There was actually a Zerg on pSi who basically went for... Oh, as a matter of fact, it may have been Pre from DM, who literally went for like 50 drones within like 8 minutes or something, which is just ridiculous. Playing that ret style, but that's not gonna be what we see here. Okay, so the Corsair almost getting taken down. Nice moves by Praise, forcing that back, making sure not to lose any overlords. Now we've actually got Praise doing the thing that we saw from before, but oh my god, here we go. The storms coming in. Zealots getting a few of those Hydras as well. And Praise is forced back from his position here. Now that does give Castle the ability to go and expand down towards the bottom left or even to the middle. But with these +1 Zealots with speed, there's not really that much Zerg here. So this could be a ton of damage, and this could actually be a damaging blow that could do fatal damage here. Because genuinely... this is a ton of Zealots, and Praise really does not have enough to deal with this, I don't think. He's going to be fighting low ground and high ground as well. We should have an Archon coming in at the back here that's going to add a lot of damage. And if you think about the way the reinforcements come in, this is definitely going to look better for Castle. Now Castle breaking forward. He's going to get on top of the first hatchery here. Looks like he wants to skip past it, as he does want to get his Zealots on top of those Hydralisks. Now the Sunken going to be doing a ton of damage, but realistically, is it going to be enough? The Hydra's taking so much damage, they've got nowhere to retreat to, and there's even a template here with Psystorm. And there we go, GG. Praise taps out, and Castle takes game number 2. Hey Age, good to see you, man. Okay, so I mean, that was a really quick game number 2. Didn't really expect that, but obviously we did start with a little bit of a walkover. So we are 2 games into the series already. I mean, with how quick that game was, we could be going through today pretty quickly, especially as it's all PvZ. PvZ is very well known to be quite quick sometimes. So let's see how we go, how we get on in our next game. It's going to be game number 3 when we get back after this very short break. See you guys very soon. Neo Arcanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs. And it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 2, game number 3, sorry, between Red and pSi. And we actually had subs for both teams here. I think someone was going on in Bulgaria on Sunday, and I think Warrior, who was meant to play, got subbed out. I think it was Warrior that was going to play. I'm not sure. Either way, it doesn't matter too much. Obviously, it's going to be another PvZ, so if you like PvZ, you're in the right place. Let's have a look at our map now. Starting us off, we're going to have, continuing us off, I guess, we're going to have Multiverse. Now, Multiverse, very fun 4-player map. Each of the spawns, of course, changing how the game plays out depending where you spawn. If you spawn close by air in PvZ, that can be really frustrating for the Protoss to deal with, but also very frustrating for the Zerg if you get late game, as shuttle drops become a lot better, but of course then so do mass overlord drops into the main. So not too much to talk about until we know the spawns as we get into the game, but let's actually have a look at both of our players. We're going to have LML for Red, 40% win rate for him. Played against some of the best Terrans in the league, lost to Avi as well, but in terms of PvZ, he's actually 2-1, so not doing too bad. His game against Art of Turtle, I think, is probably his most memorable one, at least for me. That was a really, really good PvZ between them two on New Outlier. His opponent for pSi is going to be Grast. Now, Grast is the captain of pSi here, but he is going to be subbing in for his teammate here, so that's why he's going to be playing Zerg. He's normally a Protoss. I think he just subbed in to try and help. But let's have a look how both of these players get on as we get into game number 3. It's LML versus Grast, Red versus pSi, here on Multiverse.
Easily amused, huh?
Hi.
Thanks, Fuji, for the, how many months is that? 10 months resub, man. I guess it's a 9-month streak, but still 10 months means a hell of a lot. Starting us off here in the 2 o'clock position, we do have, in the red, fighting for red, it's LML. And his opponent spawning down here in the 7 o'clock bottom left position, we do have, in the blue, fighting for pSi, it's Grast. Now if we just, it's not often I refer to this stat, but I'd just like to point out, when you look at the average game durations for both these players, Grast's average game duration overall is only 9, and LML's is 23 minutes. So 23 minutes against a 9-minute player on average. That's going to be interesting. I wonder how this is going to play out. Now, LML has built his first pylon in the main, so it looks like it's going to be either 1 or 2 gateways. Now, I don't know what has got into the red Protosses today, but we saw that from Castle. Could we see the same thing from LML here? Certainly not the most standard build, but maybe they're all trying to speed run their way through all these Zergs for some reason. Maybe they're just like, I don't want to play PvZ this week. We're gonna 2-gate all of them. There we go, 2-gate again. Now I'm not sure if I have a statistic for overall match time. That's one of the things I'm definitely going to add, because I want to know what the fastest match is. Now, obviously we have like the fastest game and we have stuff like that. We already know that, but I don't know what the fastest match is. But the way this series is going, it could very well be this one. 2-gate twice in a row. Now, Grast did go for Lings first into a hatchery, so not too crazy from Grast at the very least. It was... Is there a second Overlord? Yeah, I think there was an Overpull into a hatchery, so he's going to have what he needs to at least defend against these Zealots. Now, Probe finally going to scout out where his opponent is, or the Lings are going to try and intercept this. Now, one thing to point out is Grast is a Protoss main, so that could actually come into this a little bit. When you know how to play your own race, if you're off racing, it can be difficult. But you will know how people normally defend against whatever you're doing. And I can imagine, as a Protoss player, Grast may have done a couple of 2-gates in his time. He's also been playing for a very, very long time. Do you think, Edgewater asks, do you think their team only practice 2-gate from main? I mean, possibly. Maybe they're like, okay, it's PvZ. Everyone's got a PvZ, so let's go for it. Let's just do it. Let's see. Let's check them, because the way 2-gate works in PvZ is it's kind of like a skill check, because it doesn't look that strong, but if you're not a strong Zerg player, it can actually be very difficult to defend properly against it, because Zealots are so obscenely strong in the early game. Now, losing 2 drones already has Grast, so this is certainly not going too well so far. There's actually a Zealot in the main. Let's check its kills before it dies. Only 1 so far, but definitely forcing a lot of lost mining time and just being a general annoyance here. Yeah, this is certainly looking like a poor situation for Grast to be in. The natural hatchery is under fire, and does Grast actually have enough to be able to deal with this? Speed is not done for his Lings. And without link speed, I think this could be a very, very quick game. It's not going to hit the fastest game of STPL ever. That's actually only in 2 minutes 30 or something. But it's certainly a quick game. GG, Grass taps out, and LML takes game number 3. Ladder classic. So that's really good. Okay, well that was such a quick game, it would actually be dishonest of me to take a break after that. I don't think that game really, like, it counts obviously, but in terms of actual gameplay, we didn't really get to see much. So let's add the win to LML, and let's get into game number 4. Now, this game is going to be on Whiteout, which usually leads to a few of our longer games in the STPL. So, and Red did take the series, yeah, so I mean, it's kind of crazy, but it happens. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Let's have a look at the map. Okay, so Whiteout, really, really fun map. We've had lots of really cool ZVPs on here, 4 to 3 in favor of Zerg, but obviously when you look at the map, 3-player spawn, you have the forests in the middle that give you very, what am I going to say? Very, very little vision, so Whiteout can certainly be interesting for that. Now let's introduce both of our players, and then we can get into game number 4 and round out one of the quickest series I think we've ever had. 32 minutes into the cast, and we're already on game number 4, so let's see what's happening. So let's have a look. Starting here for Red, we're going to have pSi. pSi has got a 40% win ratio overall in the STPL. 1 for 3 against Zerg, so this is certainly going to benefit his opponent a little bit better. Now, his opponent going to be Mitak. Mitak with a 30% win rate here. Definitely Psi and Red not having the highest win ratio of players, but both the teams doing pretty well this season. It's just they've both played since the very beginning of Season 1, and they've had to play against so many really, really strong teams so many times. They just make it difficult. Now, he is 3 for 5 against Protoss, so doing a little bit better than pSi is, I believe. Wait, is it just the same? Might be the same percentage. I need to work out the percentages on the screen. Would make it a little bit easier. Now, let's actually load up the replay. Hopefully this one will be a little bit longer, just because obviously the quicker the cast goes, the quicker all the other games go as well. So, never really too sure what to expect when I start casting STPL, but let's have a look. It's game number 4. It's pSi versus Mitak. Okay, starting us off here in the olive green. Down here in the 5 o'clock position, we do have pSi fighting from Germany for Red. And his opponent spawning up here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Magenta Zerg fighting for pSi from Bulgaria. It's Mitak. Okay, so hopefully this game should be a little bit longer. We've had some very, very quick games. It looks like for the first time this series, we're not going to see 2 gates in the main. Now that of course does not mean there's not going to be 2 gates in the natural as part of a wall, but we'll have to pray that we do actually get a little bit of a longer game here. Now, just to answer Bandanair's question, it isn't the original pSi. I believe it is a pSi fan though, because if I remember correctly, the original pSi was German as well, so wouldn't surprise me. I mean, when you look at names, obviously in the well, it's not obvious. It's obvious to me because I look at it so much. But in the STPL, there's 4 players named Last, and none of them are the pro gamer Last. So it happens. There's also two bests, but one of the bests is actually the Pro Gamer best, so that's a little bit better. But Forge, a fast expand coming in here from pSi. Mitak going for a 12 hatch into a 12 pull, so this is certainly looking like it's going to be a little bit more macro oriented than the previous games. But I still can't believe how quick we've gone through this series so far. It's just crazy. This has got to be like one of the quickest series we've had. And we even had a series that pSi played against... Oh, I can't remember who they played against. I think it was Nice, but it was like all ZVZ. Oh, it's a cannon rush. Wait. No, that's not going to work. You can't fit a cannon in there. Wait, what? I don't get this. What's the plan? Okay, well, the cannon's coming up, but unfortunately that's actually being attacked by... Oh, he gets the drone! Sniper probe. Wait. Oh, the probe got out and he's building another cannon. Okay. Wow. Look at this. Wait. What? How did the probe die? How did the drone die? What? I don't get it. There's no kill on the probe. Is that a second probe? Okay, wow. These probes, they're killing it. Okay, there's a sunken now, and I think a sunken beats a cannon. Lings are going to be on top of this cannon as well. And it looks like Mitak holds. Okay, that must be a second probe. The probe and the drone must have killed each other at the exact same time. Because the probe died as well as the drone, I guess. Okay, well... So I thought we were going to have a macro game, but we started with a cannon rush into an expansion. We're going to have a load of Lings running at the Protoss base. And I don't know if we're going to need to get the 6-minute curse emote ready again. But yeah. Funny thing is, I actually worked out how many 6-minute games there actually has been. Now, I don't want to give you the wrong statistic, but if I remember correctly, it was actually around 100. So that's 100 over like 1,000 games, which is barely anything. So I think the rumors of the 6-minute curse being like the worst thing in history is actually unfounded. Okay, the Ling's getting out on top of the cannons. This is important. Luckily enough, he did build a second cannon though. This should be able to hold on, although it's going to be very close. And both players trading a lot of blows here, but both players going to stabilize. It's so weird seeing creep with a dead Protoss building on it, but I suppose that's how that base looks now. I wonder how long... Oh, there we go. It sinks into the floor eventually. I was going to say, I wonder how long that actually lives there. But there we go. We've got another load of Lings heading across the map. Now, this time, there is a little bit more of a wall. The first Zealot is still not done. And I don't believe this is Ling type, but we'll have to find out. And let's see if we can break through this time now. Looks like there is going to be another cannon being added on at the front. Probe going to be checking for additional Lings, and I don't know what it is today, but it feels like pSi and Red were just trying to speedrun this series because they have been such aggressive games, and I don't really understand why. Usually PvZ is one of the longer matchups we have in STPL, so it's just so odd to actually see it like this. Okay, so Ling's going to try and get in once again. They are going to get on top of the damaged cannon. Oh, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to get it this time. 2 Lings do get into the main though. That can be very dangerous for the Protoss player to deal with, but looks like he's going to be safe for now. Mitak does need to control these Lings perfectly, which unfortunately he doesn't. So he does lose one of the Lings. Second Ling almost going down. There we go. Okay, so looks like we're going to have Mitak going for a third base here. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit later than what he would normally do, given the fact he has spent so much money on Lings. And Xmark, you see Red winning a series, STPL does. Red are actually 3 for 3 at the moment. They're going to be 4 for 3 after this. So, I mean, this was definitely a bit of a weird series for both teams, I think. But Red will be happy with this win, I think. Especially after two of their players went 2-gate in a row. Okay, so the Spire is done. Are we going to see some muteless here? Yes, we are. A muteless switch coming in here from Mitak now. There is a Corsair, or there is a Stargate, but there's no Corsair just yet. That hasn't even started. And there's a cannon coming up in the main, but one cannon is not going to be enough. The cannons at the front have been heavily damaged. At least one of them has. And Mitak, I mean, Mitak could do a lot of damage with these mules. Now the funny thing is, we're almost taking the time in the game where we're combining Game 2 and Game 3's duration and going past it now. We had like a 4-minute game and a 7-minute game, so we're close. Let's see if we can beat it. Okay, Corsair gonna fly out, see that there is a muteless on the way. But does he have enough back at home? A second cannon coming in. Now this does actually defend pretty well, but it doesn't defend the mineral line here, and this is where the majority of the probes are. So he's going to jump in here, focus down the cannon, and now focus down the Corsair. Is he going to get the cannon before it finishes? No, he needs to focus the cannon, focus the cannon. Okay, the cannon starts to get focused. The Corsair goes down. Another Corsair going down to some Scourge. And it looks like Mitak is actually doing a ton of damage here. Now, he doesn't manage to get the High Templar because he was focused on other things. But all of the probes are being forced away from the main. And Mitak definitely in a good spot. Okay, he unpowered. Oh my god. Artosis pylon right here. Look at this. All of the buildings are unpowered in the main. No additional units are going to be created. No additional tech. The main nexus is going to go down. Oh, this is not a good position to be in as Mitak, or as pSi. Sorry, pSi trying to get an Archon in here. That is going to help. But with only 2 cannons in the natural, Mitak could actually knock those down. Now, oh my god, 2 cannon shots taking out 2 Mutas. The single Corsair back here going to try and fall back some additional cannons. Oh, and the Archon doing so much damage there with just a single hit. Okay, so one single Archon is going to push away the entirety of the muteless here for Mitak, but he's going to come back in. He's waiting for some additional ones. Now, does pSi see this? No, he doesn't. Just out of his vision. But the muteless going to fly past the cannon now. And this is definitely not what you want to do. You don't want to be losing muteless, because despite the fact you were in a very good spot, you still can lose the game from here. Now, we finally have a couple of pylons coming up, so we're going to see some additional units coming in. +1 attack on the air, and Storm should be on the way. There we go. Storm coming in, just to click it. pSi listened to the stream in the past, so... Now, let's see if Mitak can do it. He's building an additional sunken here. pSi has slowly started to mine back on his main base. And I mean, Mitak, or pSi, sorry, does have a worker advantage, but Mitak obviously up a base, going into a 6th hatchery, I believe this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's only going to be the 5th hatchery for now. Looks like a Zealot got into the main or something. I don't think it killed many drones, but it did attack this Spire and nearly kill it. So that's kind of funny. I don't know how it would have got in there. That's really weird. Okay, we've got Lurkers coming up. No, not Lurkers yet. That's a Hydralisk. Mutant's going to fly around. See if they can break their way through. But slowly but surely, pSi has managed to accrue a higher Corsair count, which obviously is much, much better for him to be able to stave away these Mutalisks. Okay, the Muta's going to be flying around, just having a look to see what's going on. seeing if they can find anything. We've got a lot of Lings scouting out the map, so Mitak doing a pretty good job keeping an eye out for any units. Now, does he know that a DT is there? I think he does. Oh yeah, he saw it with the Overlord. Okay. There's a ton of muters though, so if pSi's not careful, this could still kind of catapult away. The Corsair's busy out in the middle of the map killing an Overlord. But here we go, the muter's going to try and fly around. He's doing a good job not stacking them up. And the reason behind this is you don't want to get stormed and you don't want to get killed by Corsairs. Now, gets the High Templar, that's a pretty big pick-off. Does get another one, but not without taking a ton of damage to Storm. And the Corsairs should be able to clean this up handily. Nicely done by pSi. Now I do believe that DT. Oh no, okay, so it's still up here. I thought this was the Zealot you sent out earlier. I was gonna say I don't believe the DT's done any damage, so at least we've not missed anything there. Let's take another look at the armies. Have a look at the upgrades. No upgrades yet for Mitak. Does he actually have an evolution chamber going? Yes, he does. Does he have a second one? No, so no second evolution chamber just yet, but a lot of pSi's army is actually stuck out here in the middle of the map, not really achieving too much. And that does leave his front actually quite wide open, so... Oh, pSi, I think he was trying to go down here to secure a third base, but he's got to be careful of his main, because if his main goes down, this is going to be it. Now, there is a Robo here already. I don't think there's a support bay just yet. But this is going to be a Hydra sandwich here, but is it going to be good enough? The Hydra's actually getting on top of the cannons. They are pushing forward. Now, there's a big storm on that clump of Hydras, but not really doing all that much damage. But looks like pSi is going to hold. Okay, we actually have a ton of Overlords signing up here in the top right. Imagine if pSi sent his Corsairs over there. Oh my goodness. It would be Overlord breakfast, Overlord brunch, and Overlord dinner all in one go. And yeah, Aggie, this game has now totaled up the length of the entire series now, so pretty cool. It's kind of funny when you see Protoss fly all of their Corsairs in, and they're like, wait, where are the Overlords? Like, what? Doesn't make any sense, but looks like we're gonna have pSi go on the offensive now. Now he doesn't have that much. But obviously the Zealot's going to be doing some damage. Nicely done by Mitak though. Going to drop down a couple of Lurker Eggs, but Storm does a number on those Lurker Eggs. So he is going to be able to wake up eventually. The Corsair's still looking around for Overlords. Let's keep an eye on this army, as this army is all or nothing here for pSi. Although Mitak is very, very low on supply. So it looks like Mitak is going to have to abandon this base for the time being. But oh no, there's a DT getting into the main base. There's absolutely no Overlords here anymore. Oh, when this happens, you know it's going to be GG soon, because this is awful for Mitak. He can't afford to be losing these. He's losing his third base. He's about to lose all of the drones in his main. Oh, he still hasn't noticed. It's so hard to tell this is going on. In case you're not aware, when a DT1 hits a unit, it does not give you a notification. Now he's taking the hatchery. He should find out. But is it too little too late? Oh, I feel so bad for Mitak right now. He was doing pretty well, then that ill-fated attack didn't work. The TOS army has now perished, but it is 96 supply against 39. And this is definitely not looking good. The DT's still alive in the main after doing after getting 13 kills. Oh my god, there's no Overlord at the natural. There we go. GG. Mitak taps out and pSi wins game number 4, which will take the series 4-0 in favor of red. Okay, so let's actually go back and look at the results here. Oh, this is completely the wrong screen, but you'll see how the background of the overlay looks. So there we go. So the results: red taking a 4-0 victory over pSi Storm there in a very, very quick series. 50 minutes of casting for those 3 games, which is nothing at all, given the fact the first 5 minutes was me getting prepared. So, good games by Red. They were very quick. I'm hoping our second series will be a little bit better. It's going to be between 2 of the fan favorite teams here. It's going to be Rev versus White. And that's going to be coming up after this short break. See you guys very soon.